Okay, let's do this. Let's go. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you're all doing great today. I know that I am. It's hump day, Wednesday, so everything should go well. I just put some blue paint in my hair. That's wonderful. Okay, we'll deal with that later. But anyways, so let's start off our day like we always do. Let's go over to the computer. We'll check out real quickly what we did yesterday, and then we'll start our day from there. So what did we do yesterday? Well, actually, we added some shading to our gray background of our hourglass. And then as you can see on these blue cerulean leaves, we added a light blue border to them. So that is basically what we did yesterday. And what are we going to do today? Well, today, unfortunately, it's going to be a rather boring day, because today I am going to concentrate on putting a black outline to most of the centerpiece of my canvas. Unfortunately, I do have an appointment later on in the afternoon at about 3 hours from now. So I doubt it that we'll do the entire thing today. Hopefully we will. If we cannot finish it today, well, we'll just finish it tomorrow, right? So I will try to put some music in the background just so the whole thing is not too boring for you, and especially for me as well, because this is a phase that I have no choice. I have to do it, and it takes time. It's a slow process, and for someone who's just watching, I can imagine how excruciating it could probably be. But I'm sorry about that. That's the way it goes. After all, we decided we would share everything in the stream, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let me get some black paint. I'm going to use the cap to my black jar as a palette, because I'm not going to be mixing any colors, so there's no point in changing anything. God, I'm making a mess here today on my fingers, on my knife, getting the paint in my hair. Jeez. Okay, so let me do this. Let me just clean off my knife. I do like keeping my materials as clean as possible. And again, today I'm going to do as I did yesterday, as I did on Monday and last Friday, is that I am going to add, I don't have enough with 2 and the webcam with 3 cameras, right? So what am I going to do? I'm going to add another tripod and broadcast on Instagram at the same time. So I'm going to have to learn to juggle with all 3 of these cameras. I notice I've made already a few mistakes as I'm learning and getting in the habit. I got my 3 cameras that I've been streaming for the last 2 years with. I've done over 300 streams. I got that pretty much down pat. But now moving with my Instagram camera, which it just adds a little more of a challenge to everything. And one of the mistakes I made is that I forgot, oops, sorry, I gotta stay concentrated here. I'm doing, again, several things at the same time. Let me just add a little bit of water, and as I'm blending all this in, I can start talking again. So a little too much water there. There we go. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. So one of the mistakes I made yesterday is that as I'm talking and painting and moving the cameras around, well, I usually use my keyboard right here, and I use this keyboard as shortcuts to bounce back between my 2 HD cameras or the webcam or whatever, adding music and whatnot to my painting session. But the mistake I made yesterday is that I'm concentrating on this third camera now as I'm learning to use it, because I realized that I could just by spreading my fingers on the phone, I can zoom in, which is something I wasn't sure I could do before. So I got that, and as I'm concentrating on all that, well, I forgot to switch from camera number 1 to camera number 2, and for a lot of yesterday's session for my YouTube, I was stuck on one camera basically. Now it's no big deal, except that I think it's kind of boring, and especially that I use my HD cameras so that afterwards, at the end of every session, I make a quick, as we saw a few minutes ago, recap of what I did the day before. But more importantly, when I'm finished my painting, I do the making of that particular painting, and then I post it on my website. So it's important for me to have to still stay concentrated for the YouTube images, because as I'm broadcasting on YouTube, I'm also recording on my computer, and that is what I will use as footage for my final editing. So when I screw up like I did yesterday and I'm stuck on one camera for a long time, well, it just means that I don't have that footage where I can ping pong back and forth, and when I do the editing, it just makes it a lot more interesting. The more stuff you have in your final editing, the richer the outcome. So I am going to have to stay concentrated and try to not forget to switch cameras while I'm painting, which is always a challenge because I'm talking. I have to concentrate on what I'm doing. I have to think about what I'm going to do next, and then I got to figure out about the cameras as well. So it's a challenge, and I must admit I enjoy it. It's a lot more fun than just painting, which I've been doing for like 40 years. So what the heck? This adds a little spice to my painting. So let me just step back for a second, take a look, and see basically what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start off up here on these plants, work my way down. I don't know how far I'll be able to get. Maybe we can do the whole thing before I leave for my appointment, but we'll see. Next step, got the paint all ready. I think it has the right texture. It's thick, but yet not too thick. It should glide on the canvas pretty nicely. And now I have to, next major step is get the right paintbrush for the outline. So I'm probably going to have to switch paintbrushes because I have a thicker and thinner outlines to do. And I'm going to start off with this one. Not totally convinced it's the right one, but there's only one way to figure that one out, and it's to go ahead and try that. So I'm going to let my paintbrush soak for a few seconds, which is going to give me time to move camera number 1 a little closer. So let me just come over here, get both cameras on air, and I'm going to bring this baby up closer. Camera number 1 is the camera I move around for close-ups and whatnot. And camera number 2 basically just stays there fixed and is kind of the camera that I talk into the most. So where are we going to start? We're going to start up there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Hopefully I won't forget to zoom out, which also happens quite a bit if I'm concentrated on what I'm doing. So that looks pretty good right there. Let's bring the Instagram camera a little bit closer and off to the side because I really don't want to be in front of the lens if possible on all these cameras. So let's put that like that. And let's try, without putting paint on my phone, see if we can't zoom in just a little bit more. How about like that? So we'll try that. And hopefully I'm not too much in the way. I'm just going to move everything over just a whisker like that, just to get out of the lens out of the way. How about that? So that looks pretty good. So let's go back to our paintbrush that we had. I hope this is going to work out. I'm not sure this is the right paintbrush, but there's only one way to find out, and it's to go for it. So this paintbrush is the hairs are very soft, so I hope I will have control. Let's go over to camera number 1 and let's get to work. Well, it seems to be working just right. I have control over the brush, and the thickness of the line is exactly what I want, so that's pretty good. So I'll just paint for a few minutes in silence, and then I see if I can't get a little bit of some tune, some music on. And I already started off by screwing up and putting my hand in the paint. So let me see if I can't carefully clean this up before it dries. There we go. So I'm jumping back and forth for the simple reason to avoid what I just did, which is putting my hand in the wet paint. There we go. All right, very good. So let me see if I can't play some of this music. There we go. So far, so good. All right, I'll move everything over a little bit. Bring camera number 1 a little bit closer. And I'm gonna actually zoom in a little more. There we go. Very good. All right, very good. So I'm going to go back over and we'll start tackling these leaves over here. Right, these right here, make sure the camera's right on them. Zoom in a little bit. There we go. And I'll move this baby over as well. There we go. Wasn't sure if I could use the same brush for these leaves or not. I'm going to try one more leaf. Seems to be working all right. Yeah, it's working out just right, as long as I don't push too hard on the brush. At least I'm thinking of moving the cameras around. That's pretty good. There we go. Okay. Now let me zoom in a lot on this baby right here so I can have a good shot for my editing. Looks like it'll do it. Unfortunately, there's the reflection of the light that's above. There's nothing I can do about that. Very good. I think I'll just keep the zoom in for this last leaf. Very good. So staying with our philosophy of working from left to right, let's tackle this last plant up here. Again, working from left to right, so. So where am I here on my cameras? I guess everything's okay. Wasn't sure here. When I'm concentrated, I tend to forget about everything else, which I guess is normal. Okay, very good. So let's move all the way back and tackle these plants on the left-hand side. I'll bring this down like that, pull the whole thing back a little bit. There's one of the cameras. Jesus, juggling cameras. There's the other camera. And I can see that some of my black paint kind of spilled onto the canvas. And fortunately, I caught it in time where I could just, with a wet rag, wash off the paint. So, that's pretty good. Just want to rework a little bit the paint on my palette because it is a beautiful spring day and the paint tends to dry pretty quickly. There we go. I think I'm going to need my chair, to be honest with you, to do the rest down here. I'll zoom in a little bit. And I will grab my chair back here. Look at that friggin' little pop-up window out of the way. And I'll switch back to camera number 1. I love it when the paint just glides on like that, where there is no more paint, no more brush, just the stroke movement. There we go. Very good. So, staying with our philosophy of working from left to right, I am going to tackle these leaves up here. And then we'll work our way down. I don't have to get too close to the edge because, again, there will be another ring at the end, so. Just be careful not get too sloppy here, which usually happens when you're starting to get tired or bored of doing the same repetitious thing. You just have to remind yourself, get it back together here. Okay, very good. So I'm going to move on. Let's tackle this guy right here. Just move that a little bit closer. And zoom in. Just like that. And I guess I'll just bring this one over as well. Just like that as well. go. All right. What the hell is this little piece of shit that's giving me a hard time? There we go. Okay. So I'm definitely going to grab my chair for this. There we go. Very good. Okay, so all this is going pretty good. So I'm going to come back down here and tackle these little leaves over here. I'm going to move this baby a little bit out of the way as well. That's what I thought. I thought I felt some paint under my finger, and I did screw up. Again, no big deal. Well, that is if I don't screw it, make it worse. There we go. Oh putain, what the Okay. Apparently I'm making a friggin' mess here, god damn it. How come I'm screwing up like this? Okay, so where are we at here with my cameras? Let's bring this baby all the way down. There we go. Now, this other camera, I think there's no way I can bring it down. The only way I can do that is by moving it back. And that's about it. Unfortunately, I don't have a swivel on my tripod. Doesn't matter. There we go, very nice. As we continue painting from left to right, which hasn't stopped me from screwing up by putting my hand in the wet paint, but I'm sure it would have been worse if I didn't follow this logical step. Okay. Oh putain, what the hell did I just do again? How do I do that? I don't, oh putain, here too? Jesus. Thank God, a little bit of saliva and a clean rag will handle all this. There we go. Abracadabra, it's all gone. There we go. Jesus, come on. There we go. So what are these cameras doing? Are they following me here or not? Maybe a little bit. Okay, so that's the main thing. There we go. There we go. So, let me go see what all this knocking is all about. Okay, we're getting close to the end. Very good. Let me just move everything over a little bit. Just like that. And I guess just like this. Okay, let's go back to work. Now we're getting close to the end here. I'm going to add some water to this paint, which is starting to cake up on me. I seem to have less control over it. So, just add a little bit of water right here. I should have enough paint to finish this whole thing, but there we go, that's the last of my leaves. Now let's get this last plant and we'll be all done for the day. Maybe over a little bit. And this one as well. There we go. There we go. Yes, look at that, just glide on the canvas. Beautiful. There we go. All right, just about finished. Last few touches. Very good. Okay, so did I miss anything? Doesn't look like it. So, let me pull everything back. There you go, let me pull this baby back as well as we conclude today's. Let me bring this all the way back here so we have an overview of the entire painting. Something like that, I would say. Very good. So, I am going to sign off, first of all, to my Instagram friends. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join me tomorrow. Do I got any paint all over my face? I guess not. So, I hope you'll join me tomorrow as we continue on this baby. Until then, I all hope you have a wonderful day. And I say, ciao mes amis. And now I can come back over here. Let's stop the music as I come back to my webcam. And I am gonna, first of all, let's check out the painting from camera number 2. Let's get rid of this little window. And the same thing from camera number 1. And all this is for the editing purposes of my little recap film that I will show tomorrow. So anyways, my friends, thank you very much for joining me. I hope, just like for the people on Instagram, that you have a wonderful afternoon, wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow as we continue on this painting. So until then, I'm going to leave you with 2 things. I'm going to leave you with my schedule, which is so simple, and by saying, ciao mes amis.